Hi, this is Mike Devlin with a few coaching minutes for June 2016. I want to start off with a question, which is, how has your year been so far? Did you have goals for the first quarter, for the second quarter? Where are you relative to those goals for the first 5 months? Did you reach them? Did you reach them? If you didn't, how far short are you? And I guess the critical question is, what are you going to need to do going forward in order to catch up, assuming you're not where you want to be? There's a 90-day rule, and what the 90-day rule says is that whatever we're doing today is going to have an effect in 90 days. And if we get too far wrapped up in sales or whatever we're working on right now and we forget to lead generate or prospect, we're going to end up not having any business. So there needs to be a sense of urgency. And what I mean by that is that we keep putting off until tomorrow what we need to be doing today, and pretty soon we run out of days. The summer will be over, and we won't have reached our goals after 6 months. We won't have reached our goals after 9 months. We won't have reached our annual goals. 80% of your time should be spent on prospecting when you're new. And that's the part of the business that's going to produce most of the results. In order to get there, it's good to have the best day ever. And what I mean by that is when you wake up, you say to yourself, this is going to be my best day ever. And by structuring our day, we can eliminate drama. And drama is often, it's kind of prevalent in real estate offices where people go from highs and lows. Somebody calls, oh my gosh, I have a lead, I have a lead, I have a lead. You tell everybody you've got a lead, and then it doesn't work out, and then you're depressed, and then you think you have another lead, and then you're excited, and then you're depressed if that doesn't work out. What we do know, this is from Bold, is that what you think about expands. And so what we want to do is if we're saying to ourselves, we're going to have the best day ever, and we're actually planning to have the best day ever, that's going to expand as well. There's another Bold law that if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And that's really the focus of this coaching several minutes. It's about coming up with a schedule for the best day ever. Another Bold law is it's not about selling real estate, it's about following a schedule. And I know for myself that one of the biggest challenges I have is developing a schedule and being able to follow it. We know also that if you do the thing, you're going to have the power. You need to, and there's a Bold statement that your business expands to the extent you do. And if we get up and we do what we need to do, then we're going to have the power rather than not having the power. Many real estate agents start off with a life by default, a day by default. We don't have anything planned. We don't know what we're going to do. We do whatever comes our way rather than having our day by design. That also helps to eliminate drama. There's a book called The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, which I strongly recommend that you get. I'm actually going to be starting a little book club for some of these things. How many books have you read about real estate success recently? You can get a Kindle version. It's not a very long book, but we're going to be talking about how to have a miracle morning for real estate. And the best day, what this might look like, is that in the morning between 5 and let's say up to 8 o'clock, we want to create our perfect day, powerful morning routine. And for some of you, you may be surprised to know that there are, in fact, two 5 o'clocks. And there's a common statement you're going to find about how many millionaires get up early, how many successful people start their day early, and they should have a routine. And the routine might involve exercise, it might involve meditation, it might involve prayer, it might involve spending time with your family. But do you have a perfect day morning routine? From 8 to about noon, we're going to want to be looking at the market, hot sheets, what's come on the market, what's left the market, what's happening with days on market, or what listings expired and canceled, withdrawn, because knowing the market is very important in our success. We should role play. We should practice our scripts at least 15 or 20 minutes. We don't want to be practicing on our clients. Doctors are not allowed to practice on live patients. We want to have role play, an hour of power where we spend an hour calling our database, calling hot lead sources or lead follow-up. That's what we're going to want to do in the morning up until noon. Now, if we do this, if we start with a powerful morning routine and we spend several hours and actively engaged in lead generation activities, appointment setting activities, what we're going to have is a powerful afternoon. And what that would mean is that we might be going on appointments, we might spend the time door knocking, we might be connecting with people. Are you visiting banks? Are you visiting vendors? Are you having 2 to 3 coffee meetings a day? Are you previewing property? And finally, the last part of this is, when are we going to stop? In other words, at what point of the day are we going to stop working and spend our time with our family or doing something else? Again, if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And one of the suggestions I have is that you start off with the time you need to spend with your family, the time you need date nights with your wife or significant other. What is it that you need to do in order to fulfill a more of a balanced life, and make sure that those things are actually in the schedule? So getting on track, I have videos on how to do these things, but we believe strongly at Keller Williams that you begin with an overall blueprint of what your plan is going to look like. That looks like a 1-3-5. What is my goal for the next year? What are my priorities? Where am I going to get? How many buyers? How many sellers? What am I going to do to improve myself? What are my strategies for these goals, these priorities? I have videos of me going through this process. And finally, we want to break it down into a 4-1-1, where we take those goals, we put them into monthly goals, we put them into weekly goals. And finally, the 80-20 rule says that 80% of our activities produce 20% of our results, and 20% of our activities produce 80% of the results. And that 20%, the big rocks, we want to make sure that we have time blocked. And related to this, there's a video I'd like you to watch. It's on Keller Williams Connect. It's called Put Your Goals into Action with 411 and Google Calendar. It's a great video on how to use the 411 and how to incorporate it into Google Calendar. So one of the things I want to show you that's related to this is I've put together a quick it's a little save changes and view the form. It's just a simple form where I would like you to share with me, what are your goals for June? What are your goals for the first week? We're going to be going through this as we work our way through January. We have a very active training schedule, and I'd like to know what your goals are. I would like to share with you how you're doing with achieving those goals on a weekly, monthly basis as we go forward. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Talk to you guys later.